Hey
All right,
guys,
let's go.
would you mind introducing yourself, my friend?
Oh yes, my name is SOHAIB. I have an e-commerce store. Started playing around with Shopify a little bit. I say a little bit over a year ago. It started kind of as a joke with my brother. We made some t-shirts on Redbubble, and some friends noticed that they like those t-shirts. Then we said, why don't we start posting our own store on Redbubble? But then after looking at the margins there, they were like $2-3 margins per t-shirt. It was unbelievable. So we came up with the idea, hey, why don't we start our own store? That way we control everything. It's the website, you can control all the sides of business, and that way you can, collect the biggest margins possible.
Right. What's
So
your,
it started from that.
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You had a
I was going
question.
to ask you a little bit, what's your, like, before you started that, what was your background a little bit? Where do you come from?
Studied in a little bit in computer science in Algeria before I came here to Canada. And then I moved to telecommunications, which is not that different. So yeah, in the IT space pretty much all my life since I was a kid.
Gotcha. So you mentioned t-shirts, and I did see your website, of course, but can you tell us a little bit more? What do you sell? What's your target audience?
It's a very, very specific audience. It's the Algerian audience living abroad. Basically, what I'm selling is designs that only an Algerian that's living abroad that would understand, like the references in the design
Mhm.
that someone else, let's say here in Canada, you're walking somewhere in Montreal with that design, only someone from the same background would notice that design and it would see. It's kind of an inside joke that I'm selling between Algerians living abroad.
Right. So
And
yeah, I was looking at the designs and the text on there. I didn't really get what it was about. So
exactly, yeah.
there's your point exactly. So without going necessarily into too much detail, if you don't want to reveal any of the numbers, can you still tell us a little bit about some sort of results that you've gotten since you started? But you said about a year ago.
Uh-huh.
So what kind of results have you gotten so far?
It started quite slow a little bit at the beginning because we didn't know what we were doing. And at some point, we started reaching out to influencers, getting ourselves known, especially on Instagram. And I would say in a span of, let's say, between month 5 and month 8, that's where we had the most growth. We jumped from like 5,000 followers on Instagram to 40, 50 now. We're almost reaching 60,000. And of course, that converts into actual sales because people are interested in that. We've made a few mistakes at the beginning. We had a bunch of sales, but the way we were setting up through currency conversion, we had a lot of fees with PayPal. We just did not know how to handle the financial side. So yes, we made a ton of sales, but not that much profit. And now we're slowly building it and making it a little bit more, profitable.
So you mentioned one mistake. We all make mistakes, small and big. Can you tell us maybe some of the mistakes that you've done, that you made, and of course what you've learned from that?
Oh, definitely. I would say the biggest mistake was not knowing exactly how much you're keeping of the money that you're making. Because you look at Shopify, you look like you're making, give you a number, $1,000 in sales per day. But what you need to do is look how much of that you're actually keeping in your pocket. Calculate the fees, calculate the currency conversion. As for me, I collect the money in euro, but I live in Canada, so it's automatically converted to US dollars. You have to, at the beginning it was even worse. I had it in Canadian dollars and the fees were insane. You have to calculate how much you're making, how much you're spending for advertisement. Example, if you're spending $1,000 on Facebook ads to make $1,000 in sales, you're losing. It looks pretty on Shopify, but it's not converting to anything. That was a big mistake. I would say also making the website, like not making the website conversion proof, or doesn't address the objections of the clients, where you have a lot of visitors, but when the website does not look professional, the product does not look premium enough, good quality enough, they can't trust your brand enough, you're losing all that traffic and you're not making the sales. on it. So yeah, those are the two biggest mistakes, I would say.
Okay. And I'm sure you've made some improvements to your store over time, since you started. So what are some of the maybe user experience improvements or changes to the layout or the structure of the site, etc., that didn't make a difference for you in terms of sales?
That didn't make a difference, or
did make a
okay.
difference.
The biggest, I would say, the biggest ROI, hands down, reviews. I use the Looks app, even though it's I think it's like $10 or $15 a month from Shopify, and that's hands down the best conversion tool that I had. The customers can post their own pictures with the product, and that adds a ton of social proof. Picture reviews are 10 times better than just random text because they're a lot harder to fake, so people trust them a lot more.
Does it actually force users to upload a picture, or is that optional?
No, I don't force anyone. I send an email, I would say, in like 10 days after fulfillment. So they had a couple days to enjoy the shirt. And I give them a 10% rebate with the promo code. And a lot of people like to. And I also help them to send it to me on Instagram and on Facebook. And I share their stories. So it's kind of starting to become kind of a hype, kind of a culture where they want to buy just so they can be seen on my Instagram page. It's building. We're building a community, not just a store.
So okay, so I guess my question was, can they also submit just a textual review, or
Definitely.
Okay, so it's just
You
that you
send a
encourage,
text, but you don't get the promo code unless you put a picture.
There you go. Okay, so you encourage them to include a photo by giving
definitely,
them
yes.
an incentive. Okay.
Sure.
That's interesting. Okay, great. Well, listen, those were pretty much the 5 questions I had. I wanted to keep these interviews short, but of course, people watching this, feel free to ask more questions to him, and then just post comment below the post.
Oh, sure. Yeah, comment below. I'll be happy to answer them.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for your time.
All right. Have a great day.
You too. Cheers.